How to train less and maximize muscle growth. Now, when I was just starting out my fitness journey, I was doing the push pull legs 6 days per week, 3 hours a day, 20 sets per muscle, very, very high volume sort of workouts. And in the beginning, of course, they worked because they were like newbie gains. And I don't recommend this at all. Like, this is so stupid of me that I trained as a beginner, as a freaking beginner, with push pull legs with that high of a volume. It never worked for me, and it never worked for me after that beginner stage. After 6 months, it never worked for me. I stalled. I wasn't able to build any muscle, especially in my arms. I had like a torso dominant physique. It was so bad. It was so bad. I would work my ass off. I would train with very high volume and very high intensity, but I would just build no muscle. In fact, I would overtrain. I would feel like I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm actually kind of depressed, I'm anxious, I can't sleep, I'm sore all the time, I'm weak in the gym, and it was sucked. I was getting sick very often, and it made me overtrained. And when I became overtrained, and when I was overtrained, of course I had to take time off. So I had to take 3 months off of the gym, and this made me like so freaking depressed, but I had to do it to recover, to make my body recover from all that stupid stress. Like, that's why I wasn't able to build muscle for a full year, but I'll make a whole video on that, because I was overtrained. But in that 3 month mark, I literally researched everything about muscle growth. I researched everything about it, and I kept looking at it, I kept researching it. And when I finished the 3 month mark, I started training just once or twice per week with a method called high intensity, low volume. It was popularized by Mike Mentzer and Dorian Yates. And I did that, and I literally got the best results of my life, training once or twice or 3 times per week. Now, this might sound like counterproductive, like how, of course, six days per week is supposed to be better. But for my case, and for millions of people around the world, it's not. And probably if you're doing the same, if you're watching this video, you're probably in that same category. You're probably like me. You have trained with very high volume and you weren't able to build muscle. And this is the key right here, is training with high intensity training. This is literally the best way to train. It is the best way to train, and it has so much science and so many studies to prove that this is best. Okay? Now, this is the way to train less and maximize muscle growth, and this is what worked for me. This is what built the most muscle for me. If you've watched the video that I did about the best workout program to build an aesthetic physique, this is it. And there's kind of like 4 pillars to high intensity training, and I will explain each one of them. Now, the first thing, and literally the most important thing you need to build muscle, is failure. You need to train till failure, which is the point where you can't get another rep despite your best efforts. You cannot get another rep. It's impossible for you to get another rep. When you're doing a set and you just keep pushing, and there's like that one like very, very, very slow hard rep, and you try to get another rep after it, but it's impossible. It's the most muscle. Training to the point where you can't get another rep. Okay? And I always give this example because it's completely true. You could go into the gym, do 100 sets for your chest, with 100 reps on each set, crazy volume. But it's with those pink, like 2 pound girly dumbbells, and you'll get a huge pump, you'll get a massive pump, you'll do tons of volume, but you won't build any muscle. Like same thing with like walking. Like if we're walking all the time, we're doing like so much volume, so much freaking volume. But if everyone walked a lot, everyone would have like legs like flats, you know. But we don't. You only build muscle from intensity. Like, have you ever seen like marathon runners? Marathon runners, they run like crazy distances, but they have like pretty small legs. In relation to sprinters run short distances but with very high speed, very high intensity, and they have massive legs. Like you could go into the gym and do just one set for your chest with like dumbbell press, but take that set to momentary muscular failure and you will send the greatest stimulus to your muscle. You will send the best signal to your muscles to build muscle. You will build the maximum amount of muscle on that one set because you trained till failure. You recruited all the motor units that you need. See what I mean? Like, please, bro, please don't fall into the same mistake. Don't do volume, do intensity. Intensity is the primary driver of muscle growth. It is not volume. Volume is just a metric for how much training you do, but it has no correlation with muscle growth. Failure is what correlates muscle growth. Now, the second pillar to high intensity training is, and you kind of find this like interesting, when we train to failure, of course it's very, very hard, so we cannot do a lot of sets. So the second pillar to training high intensity is less sets, doing less sets. Like if you train till failure, you cannot do a lot of sets, or you'll overtrain just like I did. Like I had this stupid, ridiculous idea that if I increased my volume and increased my intensity, I would somehow blow up and get huge. What happened was the exact opposite. I overtrained. I lost strength. I was moody. I was always tired. I lost muscle from doing that. You cannot increase volume and increase intensity. You can only do one of the two. And the primary driver, which is intensity, is the one you should increase. And you should lower volume. This is the scientific way. I'm telling you, bro, this is the way. So less sets. Generally, you do one set, 2 sets max per exercise. But of course, on that one set, you're training till failure, and on some cases, you could even go beyond failure, doing supersets, drop sets, rest pause sets, going beyond failure. That will maximize muscle growth, doing less sets. And that is actually the third pillar of high intensity training, which is doing these intensity techniques. Intensity techniques are basically ways you go past failure. You go past the point where you can't perform another rep, so you do a technique that lets you go past that point. Like basically you could go, like you go to failure, you can't do another rep, and you do like partial reps, like baby reps, like very small reps. Or you could do a drop set, like you can't do another rep despite whatever happens, and then you immediately you decrease the weight and you do another set. That's another way to go past failure. You could do a superset, like do bench press, for example, and then when you reach failure on that, you immediately do push-ups. That will destroy your muscle. Like if you do that and you actually take it to failure, there's no way you can do another set. There is literally no way. It's purposeless, you know, and that will maximize muscle growth if you train till failure and you go past failure. Now, there's just a disclaimer I'll say with this. If you are doing one set till failure and you're thinking about going to from one set to two sets, start by doing the intensity techniques. Start by doing superset, drop sets, and rest pause sets, and all that. And these will give you the best stimulus possible. Because just doing another set, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you make your workout longer for no reason. Like you're not adding any benefit. That's the thing. And the fourth pillar of high intensity training, which is the way to train less and build more muscle, is this is the last thing. To train 1 to 3 times per week. Now this was key for me because there are two sort of metrics we could measure building muscle with, and they are equally not a single digit unequal, they are equally 50-50 as important, which is training, the workout itself, and recovery. The recovery. So what we do with high intensity training, we do with the training, we do the maximum stimulus, the maximum sort of signal for your muscles to grow, the maximum stimulus with training to failure, but at the same time we train way less. We train very, very low by doing less workouts. Generally 1 to 3 workouts per week, so once a week or twice a week or 3 times per week. I generally train once or twice a week. I don't really go to 3 times per week, and that would generally that built for me the most muscle, because I maximize the stimulus and at the same time I maximize the recovery. You need to understand that your muscles don't grow in the gym, they grow when you rest. The gym, the workout, when you train to failure, you send a stimulus, but you need to let your body recover in order to let that stimulus, in order to let your body build muscle off of that stimulus, you know? So these are the 4 main things. Train till failure, do less sets, do intensity techniques, and train once, twice, or 3 times per week. No more. Okay, these are the 4 principles of high intensity training, and I promise you, bro, high intensity training, it changed my life. It will build for you the most muscle you could ever want. It will maximize muscle growth for you. Like, I've literally seen people gain like 10 pounds of muscle per month using this way of training. It is magical because, like I said, it maximizes the 2 most important factors for muscle building, which are stimulus and recovery. Stimulus with training till failure, and recovery with the rest days that you take. You train way less. And a very, very huge benefit you get with training, with high intensity training, is you don't need to train as much. You only train like once or twice per week, maybe 3 times per week. You don't need to live in the gym. The workouts are generally like 30 minutes or 30 minutes to 45 minutes, and you just leave the gym, and you just have so much more time to focus on self-improvement and focus on other things. Like, I have so much time to record videos, I have so much time to read, to meditate, to journal, because I train this way. If you want to know how I train high intensity training, but I do full body twice per week with high intensity training, which I basically do 1 or 2 sets per workout. And that helps me maximize the stimulus and maximize the recovery. Okay, so that is how you train less and you maximize muscle growth. And as always, bro, I love you and I'm rooting for you. Peace. Take care.